So we're going to start with the bottom of the system and work our way up. We'll start at single A, Fort Myers. Jeremy, guys who you have been impressed with in the opening 6 weeks of the season, and why?
Yeah, so I think for me it was maybe more like you said, surprised.
Hmm.
And I know one name that we both will agree on is Jay Thomason, who was a later pick last year out of the Air Force, and has just played well. Right? It like
Mhm.
statistically, it doesn't appear that he belongs at that level anymore.
Yep.
Uh, and I don't know, as a 23-year-old at that level, he's done everything he needs to. So his OPS right now is north of 1,000. He's got 6 home runs and is getting on base over 44% of the time. Just just someone that it's like you're not going to look at a player like that with that resume and say, oh man, this is a prospect to watch.
Hmm.
But it's definitely someone that it's like he's done everything he's asked at the level that he's currently at
Yep.
and has deserved a promotion. That's where guys like Peyton Eels all of a sudden become a bigger deal because
Yep.
he does it at multiple levels at a time. So the quicker you do that at the level that you're at, right, the quicker you earn a promotion, the quicker you have that opportunity to move up. So just a name that kind of stuck out as being the most deserving of someone that probably of a promotion at this point this early in the season. The other name, um, and it's a name that I've talked about, and so probably why I went this direction, just because I don't know, again, what's going to happen with the 17th round pick from the prior year. Lefty Cade Bragg has been uh, only 9 appearances, 12 innings. He's just struck out 18, right?
Yep.
Walked 4. I don't have the under the hood numbers to know exactly what it looks like. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Um, but just someone that at 23 has done what he can at this level. Um, Only had 8 innings pitched last year. Has given up more hits, 4 earned runs, but just certainly someone to keep an eye on, because at this level, I would say 80% of these guys probably won't amount to big league players. But if you can find like kind of one diamond in the rough, I
Yep.
think that's a big deal. So those are just two names that stood out to me with the Fort Myers Mighty Mussels.
I saw you itching to say miracle then, and I just wanted you to lean into it.
I really wanted to. I was just not gonna say what they're called. That might be the first time I've ever actually spoke those words on this podcast.
Yeah, I love those are great picks, and Bragg is an interesting one. It's not that common, I think, that we see guys deployed solely as relievers starting straight away at low A. But he has a 306 xFIP so far this season, and a really interesting like east west type of profile, and he's like limiting contact altogether. And then Thomason, as you mentioned, 183 WRC plus so far. He is in need of a sterner test. One more guy I'll throw into the mix from high A before we move on to our question mark guys. And at low A. And there's so many guys we could highlight here. But I can't not mention Dylan Quested. The 2024 draft class, 2023 draft class of the Minnesota Twins is a fascinating one. You had Jenkins, Charlie Soto, Luke Keeschel, Brandon Winokur, of course. Dylan Quested was the Twins, I want to say, 4th-round pick, a prep righty out of Wisconsin who was committed to Arkansas. The only reason I bring that up is that's usually a really strong program for developing pitchers. He struggled mightily in the complex league in 2024. In his age 19 season, 28 innings in the complex league. He walked close to 20% of guys, did show some swing and miss, but was pretty rough. This year at low A, he looks like a completely different pitcher, as I just lost my numbers on him. 1 second. That's never what you want to hear, is someone's a completely different pitcher and then you lose all of the stats that you had in front of you. So, yeah, it looks like a completely different guy, and it's a small sample, only 16 innings pitched so far, but it's a 280 FIP. He's striking out 39% of guys. The walk rate has gone from 19.2% down to 10.2%. Fastball sitting in the mid 90s. And I think that's much more so what the Twins hoped for and expected when they signed Quested, who they signed for about $500,000 to get him away from his college commitment, I think. And I think maybe a good example of that, like, we got to be patient with some guys. Some guys get off to a rocky start and then they eventually start to figure things out. So